Thank you for listening to another episode of the TM GolfCast. This is episode 2, part 1. And recently I got to sit down with golf events coordinator Ben Heinlein and also the assistant golf professional at Nemacolin Woodlands Resort, Tyler Merrifield. And I got to sit down with them and talk about their experience in the golf industry, where they've been, and how they went through the PGM program. And yeah, it's a really good listen. It's actually a two-part episode. So next, in 2 weeks, the second part will come out. And this is my conversation with Tyler Merrifield and Ben Heinlein. Take a listen. I am here with Ben Heinlein. That's how you sound your name, right? Ben Heinlein, right?
Heinlein, yes.
Okay, and it's also, we got a 2-for-1 deal here. Two guests in the same podcast. Ben Heinlein and Tyler
Merrifield.
Merrifield.
Yep.
Okay. So, you guys are how long have both of you been at Nemacolin?
So I've been here now 6 years. Started as an intern back in 2013. Started from Cal U, golf management in Pennsylvania. Started as a bag drop intern, moved from there into the pro shop for my second year. Third year, I ended up moving into the golf academy as a assistant teaching professional over there. Then the fourth year, I ended up being the golf event service coordinator, which is what I still am today.
Now, what about you, Tyler? When did you start here?
May of 2015.
So that wasn't that long ago.
This is my
fourth year?
season, technically, yeah. So, I want to say, well, I went to Coastal Carolina from 2011 through 2015. Started here in May, did my 7-month internship here. Well, heck, when I started, there was like this is like, I think, my third director of golf I'm on now. Started with Carmen, then Mike, and now Tom. So, and then I think this is my third GM as well, third or fourth GM. So it's been an interesting ride the last 4 years. But yep, started here 2015. I think Zach had me start in the pro shop with Joe and Mike. In fact, just live a few doors down. Worked in there, and then I think I worked outside for I worked outside for 2 years after that.
Oh,
And
wow.
then-
So you haven't been in the pro shop the entire time?
Nope. This is the first time I've been back in the pro shop since 2015. I think they didn't like me outside very much anymore, so they promoted me or demoted me back inside.
Wow.
Working with Ian and everyone that was inside. Ian was the only one that was there when I first started there in 2015 inside.
Really? Wow. Huh. When did you guys actually start picking up the game?
So my family actually owns a golf course.
Oh, that's right. The Ponderosa, right?
Ponderosa Golf Course, yes, Burgettstown, Pennsylvania. My family owns a golf course out that direction, so I've actually been in the golf industry since the start of it. My grandfather was one of the better left-handed golfers in the state when he was younger, so, he kind of, for the love of the game, started me out young playing. Almost from the time I could walk, I picked up a club and was swinging it around the yard. Didn't really start taking it serious, though, until about high school. And then from there, I kind of knew that I've always wanted to be a golf professional and kind of stuck with it. And Cal U, right down the road, not far from home, kind of became a good option for me. So that's kind of the route I took. Wanted to stay in the golf industry somehow, some way, and got a job here at Nemacolin and kind of stuck with it. Was happy here, still here, loving it. Wouldn't change it now, that's for sure.
At what point did you realize, I think I'm going to take this as a profession? Like, I'm actually going to go to school for professional golf.
So, in high school, playing it a lot, enjoying the game, growing up on the golf course. To be honest, golf is really all I knew. I had a fair amount of background with the turf grass side of it, being part of a, family-run golf course. You do it all. You wake up in the morning, you mow greens, you go to bed at night putting carts away, and in between you work the pro shop. Sometimes you do some dishes in the restaurant if you have to. I mean, it's a family business. You kind of just do it all. So, you know, golf, always knew it. All I really knew. Love it. Still love the game. Decided to stick with it. And, no one else in my family actually has the PGA credentials, so that's why I decided to try to stick it out and go through the PGA program and go to Cal U and get my degree in golf management, and, just trying to stick with it, trying to love the game. I mean, not trying. I do love the game, but, just trying to make a living.
What about you, Tyler? What point did you realize, I'm going to take this as a career?
Probably my senior year of high school, I want to say. Probably when I was getting set into looking into the colleges and things like that, figuring out what I wanted to do with my life and kind of think what really interested me, and went from there. So when I started playing golf, I joined a club in my hometown called the Fairmont Field Club. It was a 9-hole public course. I went there pretty much every day after school in high school, just trying to get better at the game, honestly, and see if I'd ever stand a chance of actually becoming like a PGA professional, because I knew there was a lot of tests and a lot of different challenges you had to pass in order to get there. So I was doing my best to be the best I could be and work my hardest at it. And while I was there practicing and getting better, I met with our club pro there at the time. His name was Doug, and he was a great guy. Started to know him real well. Talked to him about how he got to where he was, and he kind of went along a similar path. So I said, I kind of like that idea, and I got into it myself. But when I was looking at colleges to do this, I figured, well, there's some schools that offer a PGA golf management program, and I was looking at it, and Coastal Carolina offered a great program down in Myrtle Beach. I looked at that school, and I looked at Methodist University in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah, I actually looked at Methodist when I was looking at PGM schools.
It's not a bad school. I mean, they have a great program, but it's just the area it's in, I couldn't see myself, because it was kind of like a run-down town.
Yeah.
It's Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Yeah, Fayetteville.
And it's kind of a run-down town. I mean, they have a great program, great people run it there. And then when I was doing my visiting, I looked at that and Coastal on the same trip, and Coastal just was beautiful area, beautiful all around. Like, there's plenty to do, so I wouldn't feel bored if I didn't want to play golf or it was too cold or anything for golf. So Coastal won me over with that, and then the school was excellent there. Former PGA of America president on staff in the PGA program, Will Mann. Yeah, he was a great guy to learn from, great guy to talk to, so got to know him really well. And the program there was just excellent, and it was a quick 4 years, honestly. I mean, I barely remember, it just kind of flew by, the whole experience, but learned everything in the program there, and then brought whatever I had to my internships every summer, and here I am at Nemacolin.
So where were you? Now, you were at the Ponderosa before. What internships did you have, Ben, that brought you, now you're at Nemacolin?
So actually my first 2 internships I did at home. Then our director at our director at Cal U said that, hey, I can't keep sending you back to the same place. I need you to get out and experience something else, so that way you can kind of learn and grow yourself as a golf professional. I said, all right. So, as a kid, I used to come here to Nemacolin and watch the PGA Tour events here, which used to host the 84 Lumber Classic years ago. And I said, at that time, what would it take to be a golf professional at a golf course like this? And sure enough, 10 years later, here I am running the golf events that are now, I'm now the one running all the golf events, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's really special to think about. 10 years ago I was a kid watching these guys play on the PGA Tour at this facility and seeing how stunning it was and what a great golf course it was at the time, and just my mind being blown being here and watching it and seeing all the golf course and preparation for the PGA Tour. So, the internships kind of led me here, so I got lucky and ended up coming here and getting hired on full time. It's always been a great experience so far, and Cal U really helped lead me in the right direction and helped me find a great internship site to go to. They had a great networking to get in here, which was nice, and I'm happy I chose this place to come to now.
So after the Ponderosa, you came here as an intern?
Yeah. So I only really did 2 internships: Ponderosa Golf Course, my home facility, and then came to Nemacolin for my last 2 internships.
That's awesome. What about you, Tyler? So your first internship after, I guess, how many internships did they have you doing at Coastal? Did they have you 3?
They had you do 3-month internships, one for each of your undergrad summers, and then 1 7-month internship your final year. I mean, I guess you could do it out of order, but it just felt kind of weird doing it that way, so I just did it 3, 3, 3, and then 7. Okay. It was funny because I actually came up for the '84 Lumber Classic as well when it was up here in 2006. It was the only time I got to come to it because that was the only time I really knew about it. Came to on the Saturday of it, sat on number 12 and waited there most of the day to see VJ Singh come through because he was the biggest name that was still here for the weekend. Because I mean, that year they had Daly and Michelle Wee here, and then neither one of them made the cut, and I was kind of bummed, but VJ was still here, so VJ and KJ Choi were the big names, but not to show our age or anything, but the internships they had me do in college were, I did Lakeview Resort down in Morgantown. I did it my freshman year, working outside operations, kind of like a cart guy. Second year, I was planning to go to a different course in Morgantown, but it fell through, so I ended up going back to Lakeview and working in the pro shop, so I kind of got 2 different sides of an internship on that. And then my final one I got before Nemacolin was a junior golf camp in Midlothian, Virginia, which is just outside Richmond. So worked with juniors there. First real time of ever having that experience, and actually it went pretty well. I mean, it was just kind of like this beautiful course. It was called Independence Golf Club, and it was kind of weird because their main course, their 18-hole golf course, was actually being redesigned and redone.
Oh, wow.
So it was closed, and they only had a par 3 course, so we had to spend the whole summer teaching them on a par 3 course. And so it got me really involved in teaching and getting better with these juniors than I'd ever expect I was going to be able to do, and it taught me a few different things about my golf game too, and I think it was really a beneficial summer. But overall, I'd say all my internships turned out really well. I mean, I didn't really have one that I thought was bad or led to anything negative. I mean, I thought they all turned out really well, and then after this internship, it finished up, and I think Zach asked if I was going to come back or not, and I said, yeah, I'd love to. I mean, I'd love to keep coming back and learn more, and that was the end of that. Spent a winter in retail, and then came back in the spring, so there we go. Graduated in December of 2015, and worked in the off season until spring rolled around, and then came back to golf. So
That's awesome.
it's kind of a nice little transition there. It's kind of smooth transition too, actually.
Now, after seeing, so both of you been in the golf industry for a long time. What is one thing you would like to see change in the golf industry?
So one thing I'd like to see, I'd like to see more of a fun atmosphere coming. Golf is, I think, slowly starting to go away because people don't want to spend the 4.5 hours coming out, playing golf, and, going away. Now things are becoming more of an experience, like the Top Golf is changing the way people are looking at the game. I mean, you go to the driving range for an hour and a half, you hit golf balls, you have some alcoholic beverages, and there's music playing and different types of games you can play while you're there. The other cool thing, the resort just got a new Shark experience for our golf carts. I mean, it's 2 Bose sound speakers with a radio attached to the GPS screen that we have. So, while you're out there, you're getting that experience. You can now play music from your golf cart. You don't have to take your own Bluetooth speakers out anymore. You're not worried about your phone dying or anything of that nature. Next step that's coming with the GPSs, we are already starting to see a little bit of it. They just got the new PGA network for it as well, which is kind of cool. You can watch some live golf tournaments, but next they're starting to talk about college football and the NFL network being popped up on there, which, it's not such a bad thing now. You go out to play a round of golf on a Sunday, and there's your favorite football team playing on the GPS screen in front of you, so you're not missing a moment of the football game, and you're still getting to play a round of golf. So, I'd like to see more of that kind of style coming together, something that, makes the game more enjoyable. It's not such a chore to go out anymore and play 4.5 hours with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a fun atmosphere and a, cool thing to do again. On property, we just built 4 Topgolf simulators, which is really cool. They're their own little private base. You can go in, play golf on 82 golf courses, I believe is what they're offering currently. We're going to soon have 84 once they decide to update it and put our new Shepherd's Rock and Mystic Rock onto the course selection. But yes, it's awesome. You can play the top golf games. You can play a lot of golf courses, not all of them, but you can play a ton of golf courses. And they are called swing suites for a reason, because there's couches there. There's going to be bartenders there as well that come serve you drinks. And they are there to take appetizer orders and food orders. So, it's a really cool experience that we can now have in the wintertime here at the resort. Summertime, it's also available, but most people are out playing on the actual golf course during the summer. But in the wintertime, I think it's going to be really cool and, really help keep the game of golf in mind during the wintertime in this area.
What about you, Tyler? What is one thing you'd like to see change in the industry?
Like I was mentioning a little earlier, I think one thing that'd be nice to see changed is the inclusion of the younger generations. I mean, even we're starting to see it nowadays more and more in golf, that forever golf was seen as an old man's game, as the older generations were the only ones that would play it, like, oh, that's for old people. But now what I'm like seeing is the younger generations are starting to see it more and more as like a hip thing to do, I guess is one way to say it. Like it's in style now.
That's one of the things with Topgolf as well. The kids see it and they hear it and they see all the music and they see all the lights and the fun of it.
Yes. I mean, you can do, heck, you don't even have to do just golf. You can change it up. I mean, there's baseball on there. You can do, I think when I saw it, it was like aliens versus zombies. I mean, it's even stuff that, I mean, I know it's not like what you'd expect, but it's something that kids like and it's different and they can relate to it like other games they've played before, and they can have fun with it. I mean, it's just something just in case they don't really get into golf, but it's also they get introduced to golf while they're there. I mean, because most likely their parents going to do maybe one of each, at least to kind of give them the experience. But if worse comes to worse, they can play the zombie baseball. But
That's really cool. You can play kind of like a video game almost, but still in golf. I think that'll bring a lot of kids in as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, even just this game where you can play against your parents, even like on those Topgolf things where you can do the actual Topgolf facility on the simulator, where you can do target challenges. You can do things like that where they can go against their parents. I mean, because a lot of times they don't have that ability on the actual golf course, at least not yet.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like a nice introduction to it, because I mean, parents and kids are going to be pretty much on the same playing level on the Topgolf suites.
That's awesome.
So I mean, I think that's the best thing. That's what I like seeing, is the transition they've done. I mean, ever since really Tiger came on the scene, and then of late these newer guys like Jordan, Ricky, I mean, they're starting to make golf like a young guy's game and all that. So I think that's one of the best things we can be doing with golf, is introducing the younger generations to it now and just kind of get them involved and keep it growing, because that's the best way. Because I mean, people are getting older every day, so.
Now you said earlier Tiger got you into the game of golf.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that like growing up and just seeing Tiger? Because I wasn't able to, or I didn't get into the game of golf when Tiger had his big era.
So mainly just because I saw him always getting out there and always dominating, and I wanted to do that. Just because I said, well, this guy makes it look so easy, and this game looks really fun the way he does it. So I said, I want to do that. So I just started picking up the club, and I was trying to do what he was doing, and I didn't realize how hard it was until I actually started doing it myself. But I was like, wow, this is a lot more complicated than it is on TV or in a video game. But yeah, watching Tiger do it, and I wanted to get involved in it too. And then the more I was practicing it, the better I was getting. And even I went out in the winters and shoveled the snow just to get to the grass, just to hit balls in the middle of winter.
Wow. I thought I was the only person who ever did that. I thought I was the weird one.
Yeah, you and I are two crazy people. So.
Did you ever do that, Ben?
Loved it. I at home with a golf course. Number 9 green sits about 140 yards away from my house. Every summer I'd drag a bunch of balls out of the lakes and keep them in my house for the wintertime. I'd go out and shovel the snow out and hit a few balls down to the green on occasion. All you can see is a flagstick in the snow, but on occasion, yes, you definitely...
We're luckier than most.
You definitely get a little cabin fever in the wintertime. You want to swing, so
yeah.
You do what you got to do.
That's why I think Topgolf's going to be a big hit, because it may not be like immediate, but I bet you within a couple weeks of golf season ending, I bet you it'll take off. People will start getting that cabin fever that aren't able to make it down to Florida in the winters, because a lot of our members or 400 clubs that are here most of the year, they go down to Florida usually October through April.
Oh, wow.
So, the ones that don't have that ability to, they have jobs here, family here, or just can't do that, I bet you they'll be coming into the Topgolf suites and using those a lot, because, it is fun. Once you get into it and you just start playing with it, you just want to beat it.
Yeah.
You just get in your own zone with it.
So that was the conversation with Ben and Tyler. That was the first part of the episode. Second part will come out in 2 weeks. Take a listen to that. I highly recommend the next part of it. The episode will come out in a couple weeks. And then after that, I've got a really special guest, a really cool guest on the show in a few weeks. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time.